I'm ready for bed.
We got to go kill heretics.
I know.
No, we have to go to a party. There may or may not be heretics.
Oh, there will definitely be heretics there.
Wow. So you're willingly going to a heretic-filled party?
Yeah.
Sounds like heresy to me.
How's it going, Eric?
I'm good. Davis says he's not sure if he's going to make it on tonight. Well, let's see what Davis has to say when he gets back. So, you have the 2 security cameras up, and then you also had you got another camera to put on the front of Tyruss, I think.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I can change it so that you can all see from Tyruss's vision. If I go to the character sheets and set Tyruss so that he can be controlled by anyone.
Yes.
All right, so now, if I move Tyruss in here,
I see it.
Ned, can you... Yeah, we did it.
Actually, I just moved him.
Oh, I had no idea Roll20 could do this whole fog of war kind of thing.
Yeah, it can.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Mm-hmm. So you can see the 2 cones of vision you have into the grand ballroom and the freight area. Those are the cameras you set up earlier. But now, unfortunately, Ned can move Tyruss wherever he wants him to go.
Tyruss, stop going around everywhere.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that's different right now on those layers from the map to the side is that some of them have fancy flooring.
Well, if the masquerade ball, it better have fancy flooring.
Yeah. The grand ballroom at least does.
Yeah.
And a couple of the side rooms and the kitchen's also got tile.
So what do you guys say the likelihood is that local security discovers all of the weapons we hid and has already disposed of them? Are we going to walk in and say, I'll get the gun? Where is it?
Your core stuff is completely fine. My bolt gun's at risk.
You did a really good job of hiding everything but the bolt gun.
So, again, something I called when we tried to hide the bolt gun is I have just a strong thinking feeling that I'm going to get shot with my own bolt gun.
It shall be so.
Eldrick Marin will be brooding in a room like, man, I wish I had a way to kill that guy who humiliated me. And then
the guard comes in, sir, we've discovered this. Excellent.
Well, if you lose that thing, it's going to suck because you're not going to be able to find another one very easily.
You have a bolt pistol, though, don't you?
I do, but I've always wanted a bolt gun. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We want this to happen this way.
You don't know exactly what has happened with it yet because you haven't got in.
I'm just going to run into the ball, ignore everyone, go try to find it, and then just run out. I found it!
I hit a high-powered military rifle in this room and I can't find it. Has any of you other guests seen it? Run for the exits. All right.
So what are we doing here?
So what we're doing is masquerading and balling, possibly at the same time.
We masquerading.
We are about to go to the masquerade ball. You've all got your frilly dresses and fancy coats. Masks are polished and affixed to faces. You're ready to go. Why don't we all, starting with Tyruss, go over which equipment and whatnot you're bringing with you?
Okay, so as described in our previous session, I'm currently wearing a fancy white and gold cloak that was salvaged from, I don't know, some garbage bin or something that Zarkov found. I don't know.
I requisitioned royal clothing from the Inquisitor.
As I was saying, it's very nice.
An inquisitorial garbage bin.
It's very nice, thank you. Thankfully, the clothing is such that I can still wear my mesh cloak underneath it for armor. I have my microbead, my data slate. I will also be taking, of course, the golden ticket to the auction.
I've got a golden ticket.
I'll also be taking the hallucination grenade that I was given. Mm-hmm. I will also be bringing my regicide set. However, I will not be displaying it, which is usually I usually have it out on the open on my belt. But seeing how we're all supposed to have our identities hidden, I will have it hidden in my coat. But
why are you bringing it with you?
I may need to challenge a heretic to a game of regicide.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, Matt, why don't you have the good regicide player do that?
Oh,
I'll beat myself again.
I will beat you at regicide eventually.
I thought you were just going to leave it at I will beat you.
I should have. My weapons are not exactly classy and wouldn't be welcome at the ball, and my forestaff is currently hidden at the ball. However, I will be bringing my mono sword because I think that's suitably classy enough, and could be useful in a pinch.
It's a plain but elegant weapon. Yes, that'll be good. Yeah, so Zarkov, what will you be bringing? Lots of Daka?
not as much Daka as usual, but I will be bringing Daka. I will be bringing, first off, my grapnel line, which I've grown very attached to.
No pun intended.
I have both a mesh bodysuit written down and a body glove. Which one is better? Body glove, I believe?
The mesh one is armor 4.
Oh.
The armored body glove is just armored 2. The armored body glove is what you had before you found the mesh body glove.
Oh, okay. So I should probably just get rid of that eventually.
If you for some reason lose your armor, then you can have that. But yeah, you're wearing the mesh body glove.
Yeah, mesh body glove. Then I believe I gave my chain blade to Davis, right?
Yes, you did.
So I'm going to bring both my auto pistols hidden underneath my jacket and then just the mono sword revealed, because then I hid the combat shotgun is what's hidden there already. I'll also bring my multi-tool. Is that small or is that large, like an item?
Yeah, it's multi-tool's like about the size of like a adjustable wrench type thing.
Okay.
It's kind of like a space version of a Swiss Army knife, but like a little more robust. Suitable for like mechanic duties.
Awesome.
So
that's what I'm going to bring. Those are the items.
Okay. Yeah, and Ketho, what are you going to be bringing?
I'm going to be wearing my noble clothes underneath, wearing an armored body glove. Chain swords, are they fancy enough to go? Not really.
Not if it's just a plain chain sword.
Okay, so I'm not bringing that, but I am bringing a knife that I have tucked in my boot, and my bolt pistol, because you got a bolt pistol.
Is most assuredly fancy enough.
Gotta show that off. And I'm also wearing my concealed forearm-mounted stub auto. Very happy to have that thing. And I am bringing the glove of Eldrick Marin.
Yes.
Because, you know.
You missing something?
That's right. You never know when you might need that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do have 3 tracking beacons to track the location of things.
Yes. You all have some of the beacons.
Oh, okay. So we've spread those out. Okay, so I'm bringing those as well so that I can help plant those if need be. I'm specifically putting one on Tyruss so that I can track him.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I conceal it maybe on one of my buttons on my fancy dress?
You can put it in a pocket. The trackers are each like the size of a silver dollar or so.
Oh, sorry. This is the tracker, not the camera. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the camera you could conceal in like a button.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Yeah. So Martin helps you set up the tracker and your little button. I mean the camera and your button. And the tracker is, you tuck a tracker in your pocket in case they need to figure out where you are.
Woo.
And okay. And Martin had his share of the trackers, and he's probably bringing his multi-tool as well. Also the chain blade you gave him, and he's got a bolt pistol as well. Plus,
chain blades aren't silent, right? Technically when you use them?
Absolutely not.
So maybe I should get a mono dagger or something at some point, so in case I need to slit throats from behind.
Yeah. It's about as silent as a chainsaw is, so trying to split someone's throat with that is not a stealthy endeavor.
I mean, you just have...
someone just...
You use a chain blade for assassinations when you want to send a message.
Well, you have just a blade, right?
Yeah, I have the mono blade you gave me.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Zarkov has the mono sword, best quality. So he's got a real nice sword.
Real fancy.
Then you guys are ready to head out then. You guys all get into your finery and your masks. Mortimer calls a car to pick you up. And he says that he will not be accompanying you all to the dance tonight. He's He's not in high enough station to be invited personally, but he wishes you the best of luck.
Aww.
Can we invite Mortimer personally?
Would you like to invite Mortimer personally?
Absolutely.
Are we allowed to do that?
Yes, you are. You can have him as part of your entourage.
I mean, it wouldn't be a party without Mortimer.
Yeah. All right.
He gives us some legitimacy. Honestly, he does.
But seriously, he's the only one who really belongs here.
Zarkov, do you think your girlfriend will be there?
I hope so. Might be able to help us kill people.
Oh, yes.
We're going
If
to
that's
party,
what needs
guys.
to be done, then...
Hold on, I want to stop. Like, you two need to be on your best behavior. Which just means do not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Speak only then spoken to, and then only in one-word responses.
Exactly.
I upset people, and Tyruss only speaks in riddles of the warp.
And remember your jobs. Your job is to get tickets if you find them. Your job is to not get murdered.
And while Ketho's talking, then Martin will be commenting on the suboptimal nutritional content of the food and stuffing things into his portable blender.
I need a programming team to help Mortimer there, to help Martin, so it's a lost cause right now.
All right, so Mortimer is flattered to accept your invitation and says he'll get a mask for himself. He's got one from another year when he's accompanied nobility to a masquerade ball, so he'll get that sorted out. And soon Mortimer is decked out and ready to join you.
Nice.
Sweet.
When you get in the car, he actually does pull out like a small bottle of fine brandy from his sleeves and some glasses and pours it all around for you.
Mortimer!
So you drive up in your House Oberon stretch limo. On the way there, you encounter some very heavy traffic. And looking out the window, you realize the cause. Some enforcers have like a whole area around a very high-class hotel that's cordoned off with police tape, and there's on the ground, lying face down with his arms twisted in like a really awful position and blood everywhere, is Cedric Montesa lying down there dead. He was the guy who was accepting that shipment of illegal goods who had given you guys the golden ticket earlier.
Ooh.
Cedric is very clearly dead. It looks like he's position of his limbs looks like he's fallen from like a great height, and you see on one of the balconies up there, you can see through the window there's police tape in there and a couple enforcers investigating a room up there.
Is there anything that my Arbites knowledge would help with? Like, is there anything I can see that would lead just any information about the investigation?
You have some lore relating to Arbites, right?
Yep, common lore Arbites.
Sure, make a plus 20 common lore Arbites check.
Was your character original an arbiter?
Yes.
Okay.
And what did you say was the modifier, Eric?
Plus 20. Because this is pretty general procedural knowledge. Oh, nice.
Yay!
From the amount of police presence there and the way they're handling the scene, it looks like this is being investigated as some kind of an accident. But to you, it looks like the circumstances seem pretty suspicious.
Yeah, more like a homicide than an accident.
Yeah. In fact, it's almost odd that they're going about it so nonchalantly. Either there's like a shockingly high rate of murders and no one just cares about it, or they're like deliberately trying not to spook people.
Huh. This doesn't bode well.
That's what you see as you go by. Relative to that, at least, the rest of the trip's uneventful. You see there's a large number of excited people in the streets, because even though the masquerade ball itself is a very exclusive event, it's accompanied by a lot of other celebrations that are open to a lot more of the general public. So there's a lot of people all wearing masks going and throughout the streets and dancing and reveling, and there's street performers out doing their trade in the streets, and a general festive atmosphere in the air. Despite the murder scene a few blocks back, everyone is not letting it get to them.
Just a quick question about where we are right now. On this ride over, is there actually like a view to the sky at all, or is this completely enclosed?
There's no actual views to the sky from the main street, because the way it works is some of the particularly tall buildings will like poke through the walls that are enclosing the main structure of the hive, and those buildings will have windows to the exterior, but the main hive area proper doesn't have any windows, and often people, unless they go to spire areas or work on the outside, will go their entire lives without actually seeing the sky if they live in a hive city.
Right.
So you can't see the sky from the street. So you make your way to the masquerade ball. As you pull up to the front, you see there's a number of all glittering extended auto carriages, limos with important personages stepping out. Everyone's wearing even more ornate dresses and whatnot than they have previously. Some people look more like old boats from the age of sail with all the ornamentation that they've got on than actual people. And everyone's got their own mask, each one unique, nothing quite the same, but all very extravagant. You notice there's a pretty heavy presence of Oberon house guards around the place, all dressed up in their finest ceremonial wear. They look kind of like 18th century cavalry helmets, like gleaming metal with the plumes on their heads, and white and midnight blue dress uniforms. And they have their ornamental lasguns shouldered, all standing at attention. From the ornamented gates at the front of the area up to the main entrance to the building, you count at least 10 guards. So you pull up to the front and get out. A guard steps forward and opens up your limo door for you. And
I motion everyone else out first.
Mm-hmm. You all step out, and then the last one out is Ketho.
With my mask on.
Of course. Everyone's got their masks on, and Ketho, as the nobleman, is the last to exit. And there's out front, there's a number of people milling around, but everyone's going through the doors. There's a rich blue carpet rolled out from the doors out to the cars area. So you follow this path up to the front.
Psh, blue. And on my planet, they had green.
Mortimer's like, is the color not to your liking, sir?
It'll do. It's not bad, but,
Very well. So, as you go in, you surreptitiously check the data slates you all have with you. I remember Martin talking about that as a thing that he wanted to set up. So, you guys, you have your data slates with you as well. And so you surreptitiously check those and see that you can see the video feed from the two cameras you'd installed earlier. The one covering the grand ballroom and one over there covering the freight area. There's already a few guests trickling into the ballroom, and the party hasn't really gotten to full swing yet, though. You've arrived fashionably late, but some people were less fashionable than you.
There's basically a competition between everyone to arrive fashionably late.
Yes, because you don't want to be so late as to be rude, but you don't want to be the first ones there. That would just be boorish of you. No, you got an appropriately fashionable time. The freight area, meanwhile, has there's a lot of boxes and such like. Currently, there's a few uniformed men carrying out crates into the doors into the kitchen, and you can see a little bit through the kitchen doors. There's people very busy preparing lots of food, and the freight workers are carrying in more ingredients. So you walk through the entrance doors and find yourself in the entrance hall area, which is a grand marble entranceway with marble pillars and glittering chandeliers hanging from the ceiling. There's spiral staircases to either side of you, one of which goes up to higher floors, another one which goes down. The door in front of you is open, and there's a guard flanking them on either side. And there's a woman in a guard's uniform as well, taking note of all the guests and marking them down as they enter. People customarily here would wear colors accompanying their noble house, but on this day, since they're not trying to advertise their identities, then everyone's got all the colors that you could ever find, sometimes all on the same person. So you can't tell who anyone is just by the color of their clothing alone. So once you're in, what do you want to do?
We're here to party.
Where the drinks at?
That's right.
Zarkov awkwardly stands in the corner after receiving his drink.
I guess we should first just go on into the main ballroom.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
And as you do, you're greeted by nods of the head from men and dainty waves from the ladies. In the noble society, it's like everyone's the very strict behavior codes they're expected to adhere by, which is like the men are always the dominant ones and the ladies are always the submissive ones, but not everyone likes that, as you know from meeting Natalie Corvus. So how do you respond to the various people who are all just like saying like polite hellos, really not no one really knows who anyone else is, so they're just
I politely say hello back. I keep good manners.
Mhm.
Zarkov waves, but usually doesn't give a vocal response.
Mhm. Tyruss.
I don't use my voice lest anyone recognize it, so I just give them a bow whenever anyone says hello to me.
Mm-hmm. You have to hurry a bit to keep up with the others in between your bows because there's quite a lot of bowing to do. But you all make it into the ballroom eventually. So.
At this point, also, I'm going to take the golden ticket and have it. Do I have a pocket that I could have it hanging out of just slightly?
Yeah, you can tuck it into your breast pocket. It's designed to be just the right size that you can tuck it into a breast pocket, and just a small, like centimeter tall sliver of it is showing at the top.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm. So you have your glittering golden ticket just poking out.
Tyruss is staying with me, / I am staying with Tyruss.
Mm-hmm. I ask him, think it's a smart idea displaying this after what we saw?
I think we should go forward with it, but be cautious, extra cautious.
So as you guys walk through Ketho, you notice that the vast majority of guests do not have this sort of golden ticket thing poking out. You see one other person who's got a ticket like that just going through the entrance area. You really only notice because you're looking for it. It does seem like this auction is a very exclusive event, even within this exclusive event.
I point out the person with the ticket to Zarkov. Say, there might be a ticket for you.
All right. Is this guy accompanied by anyone?
It's a lady, actually. She's got it sort of like an armband with some flowing streamers attached to it, and there's also the ticket tucked into that armband. She's currently engaged in conversation with a man and has a glass of wine in that hand and is like laughing merrily and is not paying a whole lot of attention.
Awesome. So I'm going to try to sneak up behind her and steal it.
How many witnesses are there in this room right now?
This is sleight of hand. You just have to brush by while pretending to do something else.
Yeah.
All right, then, Zarkov.
I will say to Zarkov, get me a drink.
Yeah, is there like a bar on the way to her? Or
a beverage that gives me pleasure.
So I'll try to do that.
You lean over and take her wine glass and give it to Ketho. All right, make a stealth roll for me first.
Okay.
To escape the notice of all these people.
Any pluses or minuses?
Nope. There you go.
Wow.
All right, so there's enough activity going on that you just make yourself inconspicuous, and yeah, so you do just fine. I think that's like 4 degrees success, something like that.
Yeah.
So you walk right up, making yourself as inconspicuous as possible and waiting for like a particularly enthusiastic gesture from the woman. You reach forward and make a sleight of hand.
Drum roll.
Ooh. Fate roll.
If they don't roll well enough on their perception roll, they won't see you and they'll just fail to notice you.
It's a matter of how hard they fail.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to re-roll that, or do you want to...
Don't take the chance this early.
Yeah, so I'm going to re-roll.
All right.
Ah!
Nailed it. All right, that's just good enough. You walk past her and raise your hand sort of just a little bit like this and pluck the card out of their arm as you walk by.
Nice.
No one notices you.
Thank God.
Yeah.
All right, what do you do with your new card, your golden ticket?
Can I make a recommendation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't display it quite yet, because if they notice,
Yeah,
they might be a little bit suspicious of anyone who has them.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
it's true. But I should probably give it to Ketho, I would assume.
No, you should keep it.
I should keep it?
Yeah, because if someone's going to go, you're better to go with him than I am.
All right.
To a clandestine meeting where people are going to be tough and exchanging heretical objects.
No, I'm not arguing against that. It's more that Tyruss might protest to me tagging along with him.
Oh, well. See, this is for the good of the mission, not the
The
good of
Psyker and
Tyruss.
the Untouchable, best buddies for life.
Yep.
Best friends forever.
You're going to be friends, damn it.
You are
I've
going
been
to learn
trying.
how to make friends. You are going on this play date, whether you want to or not.
I find your terms unacceptable.
You guys can all talk like in low voices through your microbeads, by the way. You don't have to be directly next to each other.
Okay. It's like, nope.
There's
sorry.
enough
That's
background conversation that it's easy enough to do.
I was going to say, Tyruss, you also might want to hide yours for a few minutes until she at least figures it out.
Well, at least I got mine through legitimate means. Well, not
Right.
really. But
Mind wiping is legitimate means.
I had it walking in here. I didn't steal it off of anyone here.
That's true. That's true. So I guess we'll continue partying.
Do you want to find more tickets, do you think?
If we can all be there, that'd be good.
Yeah, but we also don't want to cause too much of a commotion.
Yeah, we should at least cool it for a little bit and just see where things go.
Yeah.
We can go check out our weapons and see if those rooms seem okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to get in there without rousing suspicion.
John still needs to get into the party.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's got
I'll move my guy. I'll move my guy. Everybody dance now. Do, 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 do.
Zarkov,
So after
tearing
stealing
up
the
the dance
ticket-
floor.
After saying the ticket, I think we've collectively decided to lay low for a few minutes while the party's on. What's happening at the party? Do we see Mortimer get wasted?
Does he bring his own glass again?
Not this time. There's servers who have their platters with wine on them. They've got a sort of a champagne type beverage that everyone's drinking, and he grabs one of these and looks around a little bit, kind of unsure of what exactly to do. Not used to moving among such high nobility as more than a servant. So it's a very weird experience to have this mask on and not have people looking down at him.
I give him a drink to drink. Say, relax, Mortimer. Have a good time.
He chuckles a bit, says, thank you, sir. While Zarkov is engaging in some light pickpocketing, Tyruss, what are you doing?
Well, I guess I would still, even if I don't intend on snatching them myself, I'd still want to be browsing around and looking for any more golden tickets.
All right, make an awareness test. Awareness at -10 because there's so many people around. You look around, but the room's starting to fill up, and there's a lot of people there, and it's hard to get a look. This can be like an extended test you can use to find more tickets. Each of these little tests you're doing takes about 2 minutes or so. Ketho, while Tyruss is searching for tickets and John is pickpocketing, Zarkov is pickpocketing, what do you do? I hope John's not pickpocketing.
That's what I do at King
You've
Richard's
been
now, guys.
misbehaving.
I just go to King Richard's and I just pickpocket all the patrons and steal their stuff.
I guess I'm just going around and being social and mingling and getting a drink for Mortimer, being a little gracious. I check with both of those two as if they are in my entourage, so that, again, they just don't look like they're creepy guys walking around.
Yeah. You guys are all sort of in the same general area of the room. None of you are too far off. Feel free to move your little character icons around to represent where you're going.
Has Natalie Corvus shown up yet?
It's hard to tell. As you're sort of looking around, you do notice someone, actually, who's the closest, Ketho, you're the closest to the entrance. So you turn around and you see a woman walk in with a aquamarine colored flowing robes with like a ornate mantle around her shoulders, and she's got the same 2 pins to the back of her hair that you remember Natalie Corvus wearing. So despite her having the mask on, she's got those identifying pins.
I see. I will go over and greet her.
Yes,
My good lady, you look lovely tonight.
Yes, and who are you? She doesn't recognize you in the mask.
Oh, it's Ketho.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes, it's good to see you. And she gives you a nod. You see, she's flanked by one tall guy you haven't seen before, as well as it takes you a minute to recognize him behind the mask, but you can tell it's Demick as well. And
I just quietly say, Demick.
He's like, Ketho, in a really soft voice. My man, how's
we gonna get drunk tonight?
Yeah. But and also Zarkov's girlfriend, in quotes, Katrin, is there too. You can tell because everyone else is like maintaining a bubble of about a meter of space around her at all times. And she's got far more swords and knives than are really necessary for attending any kind of masquerade ball event.
I give her a polite nod and make a mental note to tell Zarkov.
She gives you her customary death stare.
I feel honored.
Mm-hmm. You're on her good side when the death stare is not accompanied by actual death.
Yeah.
And Martin is sort of like mills around a bit. He's looking around. They've got the doors leading to the hallways and the main entrance are actually automated. Above the center of the door frame on each side, they have a skull set in with some glowing sensors in the eyes, and when someone draws near, then a whirring clockwork mechanism retracts the door into the wall for the person to walk through. And so Martin spends some time examining those. Tyruss, you can make another roll to notice some more golden tickets. There you go. You're going around and you see another person with a golden ticket. This time a somewhat circular man. You can see like under his mask there's at least 3 chins visible. And in one of the breast pockets on his straining vest, then you see a ticket poking out of one of the pockets. He's got some elaborate furs wrapped around his shoulders, and he's talking in a jovial voice to a few associates, and they're all chortling happily.
I make my way over to their group, see what I can find out.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple guys and 3 guys and 2 girls specifically with him. They're all having a conversation, having some like gossip about local events. It says like, have you saw on the way here that's old Cedric Montessa fell off a balcony at the inn? How clumsy of him. And everyone's like, oh, ha, 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 ha. Takes a sip from their wines.
Clumsy.
Anyone who displeases Eldrick Marin tends to take a fall off a high place.
What was that name?
Eldrick Marin.
Gasp.
Especially now, he's heard from his associates. He's been in a particularly foul mood recently.
I use this as an excuse to sort of break into the conversation. And I just say simply, oh yes, well, I can imagine he has great reason to be perturbed.
And why is that?
Oh, didn't you hear about the duel?
Oh yes, I was just about to mention that myself, and he looks all like sort of flustered a bit and like he was about to get onto that, but you stole his thunder.
Tyruss, savage as fuck.
Savage burns from Tyruss. Then one of the women there is like, you seem to be well appraised of the situation. Do you have any juicy insider knowledge? And like the whole group collectively leans forward a bit.
Oh god. Well, he seems to have a tendency of kicking people.
They all go, ah, ha, 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 ha.
Are they still like expecting me to keep talking?
You can keep going if you'd like.
He lost his temper over a couple of broken pots to the point of nearly killing a man.
Oh, how uncouth of him. The particularly corpulent man with the golden ticket's like, well, everyone loses their temper over the servants' mistakes, and beating them is expected when they step out of line, but he tends to go overboard even.
Yes, and a friendly man with octopus arms came and helped him gather up his stuff, and he was most ungrateful even then.
Oh dear, you're such a card. Alright. Ketho is also nearby if he wants to hop in at any point.
No, I'm just letting this go. I don't really
Alright.
need to make anything worse for myself.
Well, I'm literally just trying to steal their ticket. I don't know how to do that, though. John makes it look so easy. He just takes it. I could use telekinetic control. That's probably a terrible idea.
Who's the guy with the ticket?
Oh, the nobleman that I'm talking to right now.
Oh, say, good sir, pleasure to meet your acquaintance. What kind of business are you in?
I'm in the business of getting drunk and eating food tonight.
Ah! Oh, hey, next drink's on me. And I start trying to buddy up with him.
All right, make charm tests at +10.
No.
You are not charming today. He's not, offended, but just all right then, whatever.
He doesn't click like Damek and I do.
No, he doesn't.
Does Zarkov know about the situation, or is he just...
What is Zarkov doing right now?
I think he was contemplating going on the dance floor, but his social anxiety was probably stopping him.
The band hasn't really started up playing in earnest yet, so there's not a lot of dancing yet. It's mostly mingling.
Oh, okay. So I guess he's just hiding in the corner. But I guess he was keeping an eye on Tyruss, though, because that was part of what he was supposed to be doing, is making sure no one kidnapped him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he's within, if he's seen the guy has a ticket or any of that stuff. He might just, see Tyruss talking to people.
Make an awareness test at -10 if he also sees what's happening.
Alrighty.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm. You see Tyruss talking to a number of noblemen and stuff, but you don't see the ticket. Tyruss, do you want to do anything while Ketho's being boisterous and generally attracting the attention of the group?
I wonder if I can try and get this guy alone, but that might be difficult if he's got these other people with him. Because I have a variety of powers I could use, but they would all arouse suspicion.
You could just try to sneak it from the sleight of hand as you walk by or something. Or, he's still going to be there. You could find Zarkov and bring him over.
I was talking about using suggestion or dominate.
I really wouldn't risk it. It's too early. And we have the tickets. We don't need to risk the warp or other, or others who are exactly aware.
You've got 2 tickets at this point.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to your discretion if you want to risk taking another one or not.
Let's just wait. We'll see if there's more opportunities. He's not going to go anywhere. He's here to party. We'll come back to him when he's drunk.
Okay.
It'll happen.
Oh, I will use suggestion then. I could say drink a lot.
You don't need to do that. He's going to.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
They like you. You could bring them over.
This is the homicide you're looking for. Drink it all. About at this point, then, at the far end of the room, from a balcony on the second floor, a band steps out, all smartly dressed with a variety of stringed instruments, a string quartet specifically, and they start to play a nice waltz tune. Soon the center of the room clears out as people either walk to the sides or grab dance partners and start to waltz around the room. At this point, also the kitchen door, or the door to the dining room rather, opens up, and one of the servants exits out, and he's wearing a nice tuxedo and says that refreshments are available in the dining room if the lords and ladies would care to enter this way, and gestures. And so people begin dancing, and there's food available, and it's wonderful, and it's great.
It's wonderful, and it's great, yeah. It's just such a great time.
I will go into the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
Scope it out.
All right. In the dining room, there's a number of tables. The dining room is really the main area where they've got all the food served. There's buffet tables up and down in the room filled with plate after plate of exotic foods with various game imported from off-world, roasted and stuffed with all sorts of things like vegetables and breaded sweets and desserts, puddings, pies, pastries, just a whole cornucopia of deliciousness.
Is it cornucopias?
There actually is a cornucopia with like the cornucopia itself has a bunch of rolls in it, and there's stewed vegetables and finger food as well, like little sandwiches and all sorts of stuff. Chef Roderick's really outdone himself for this particular meal.
I was about to say, Ketho, is your favorite chef around?
You don't see Chef Roderick in here.
I'm sure he's in the background.
He's probably somewhere.
Or behind the stage, I should say.
As this is happening, then Zarkov, as you're cowering in the corner, and then a familiar figure also cowers in the corner beside you.
My friend Katrin.
Yeah.
Awesome. I give her kind of like a solitary look of just like, hey,
There's like, hey,
fun party. I hold up my drink.
yeah. She holds up hers.
Oh, nice. She's drinking.
Mm-hmm. She's taken maybe a sip. She's not a heavy drinker.
Does she have her 2 chain blades, or is she doing mono swords?
She actually always has just straight up bladed weapons. You've never seen her with a chain blade or a power sword or anything like that. Always just straight steel.
Nice. Respect that.
You've also noticed she never has a firearm of any kind either. It's just all swords all the time.
Okay. I guess Zarkov asked her to dance.
You can see behind her mask, she raises an eyebrow quizzically, like, "You can dance?"
He can dance if he wants to.
You can leave your friends behind.
All right. You leave your friends behind. All right, roll me an agility test for your dancing prowess.
Just straight agility, nothing plus or minus.
No pluses or minuses.
Oh, God, no! Atrocious!
You impale yourself on a shoulder pad of someone nearby. Oh, God. So much blood. All right, well, your first few steps are kind of clumsy, faltering steps, because on Malfi, you're always running security at events or tracking down heretics and didn't spend a whole lot of time on the ballroom.
Yeah.
But you can make another agility roll, because that song was almost over, and there's another song starting now. Maybe that tune just wasn't yours. There you go. This one has a much easier beat to follow, and so you pick it up and you sort of waltz around the room and doing a very basic but competent dance.
Nice.
And, yeah. You dance around and enjoy each other's company. The best part about being an untouchable couple dancing together is that no one ever bumps into you. Y'all just sort of steer around you. Yep. You've got your own bubble of personal space around you guys.
Is she a much more competent dancer than me, or?
You can tell she's like, someone's tried to teach her to dance before, but she doesn't do it very often, and she tells you as much. But she's doing all right.
Nice.
Hey, it's like, Tyruss, we should take a quick walk together through the lounges in the next few rooms.
What a splendid idea.
Cool.
Indeed. Martin goes with you guys, Tyruss and Ketho, into the lounges. Do you guys get any food while you're in there?
I'll grab a little something.
Eating would require me to lift my mask, so I dare not even risk that.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Actually, I want to scout first. I want to see the perimeter.
Most of the masks leave the mouth area open.
Wasn't mine a full?
I guess it was.
Yeah.
Would you prefer a full mask?
Oh, no. Well, yes, I would. I want a full mask, because it makes me look way more creepy.
Yes. You have a full mask then, but most of the masquerade ball masks have an open mouth area because people intend to eat and drink and be merry. But you can have a full mask if you so desire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in the lounge, there's various comfortable chairs around the place. There's a few dining tables arrayed around the place as well, and there are small groups of people sitting down and eating and chatting. There's a fireplace with roaring fires in it. They seem like they're real fires with real wood, which had to have been imported from off the world.
Fancy. I keep going, even though I make a note to come back and enjoy the fire later on. Mm-hmm. Are both lounges kind of like that?
Yeah, both are. One of them has blue carpets with gold accents, and the other has gold carpets with blue accents.
Okay, so we're going to check out the hallway and just see, can we go out here?
Yes, you can.
Okay, and then there's a garden here.
Yes, there is.
Which we
and
check
the
out.
garden has a fountain in the center and various statuary around the place. Most of it's in the marble busts of various important personages from House Oberon, but there's a few that depict scenes from Imperial legend. Do either of you have Scholastic lore legend?
I do not know that.
Nope. All my lore is about demons and hell and the warp and all horrible things.
Yes, which are, if you make sculptures of that kind of stuff, you're burned at the stake.
Yeah.
So they don't have any of that here. Ketho, you recognize this as like fairly common statuary throughout noble places.
These are very common statuaries.
Yeah.
All right, last place we want to check is the gallery.
The gallery is a
Let's go, Tyruss.
most places have like some art on display just as ornamental, but the gallery's entire purpose is to display art. So there's a few people in here who are gazing in contemplation at the various paintings they have.
Do we see any gold tickets?
Make another awareness test, both of you. I'll make one for Martin as well, because he's following you.
I do not see it. I see the art.
Yeah, no penalty to this one because there's fewer people.
Matt sees that there are walls.
Oh, wait, I rolled a 100. What?
Oh boy. So you're walking along, trying to like crane your head to like look around and see if there's any people with golden tickets. And then you walk forward and bump into someone, and you hear the slosh of a glass, and you see that you've just run into a woman and knocked her glass and spilled champagne down her entire front.
Oh.
She has like a fan in her hand, and she like crumples it up and smacks you across the side of the face with it. It's like, watch where you're going, you brute.
1,000 pardons.
I come over to you. How dare you run into this woman? And I start walking you off out of the gallery, pretending to talk at you angrily.
Should I wipe her mind?
We'll just go back to the party.
Muttering to herself, she's like, I swear the nerve of some people. Right. On the other hand, Martin did fantastically on his awareness test. And as you go by, then he sees that woman you just spilled stuff on actually has a golden ticket tucked in her arm.
Of course.
Damn it.
Actually, no, okay. Ned, or Ketho, rather, instead of leading me out, maybe we could try and use this to our advantage.
I actually made a sleight of hand test on behalf of Martin, and he rolled a 9. So as this whole commotion went on, Martin actually snuck up behind her and like pulled the ticket out of her arm with one of his mechadendrites. And so he joins you guys at the exit. It's like, were you looking for this? Shows the ticket to you guys.
Martin, way to go. Awesome.
You guys each have a ticket for yourselves.
Well, I can probably go for Ketho since Martin was probably going to stay and monitor cameras and such.
Although he's got some knowledge skills related to identifying the sort of heretical stuff you might see there. He has scholastic lore in beasts, as well as forbidden lore in Archaeotech, Eldar, Tau, and Orcs.
That's a lot of forbidden lore right there.
Yes. So he actually might be a good person to have in a situation like that, where you might have to identify heretical things.
All right, well, let's get as far away from the gallery as possible, first of all, and continue our search for a fourth ticket. I would also be asking if we recognize anyone else, but I know obviously everyone's got masks on, so I don't know if we're really able to identify anyone else that we've seen.
We haven't really been able to identify anyone until, as you're right now coming out of the gallery and get into the main room, you hear the door starts to slide open, but then a hand pushes it into the wall, and you hear the gears squeal in protest, and then someone storms in, clearly very angry. You're close enough that you can actually see his eyes through the mask, and it's unmistakably Eldric Marin. As of this moment, it doesn't look like he's recognized you.
Do we just want to try and stay as far away from him as possible? Is that our strategy?
Yeah. Zarkov's still dancing, isn't he? or is he done dancing?
At this point, you've finished.
Okay.
I over the microbead just quick relay Eldrick Marin, 6 o'clock.
Where's Ketho at? He's not anywhere near him, right?
He's in the same area, actually.
Well, we don't want to start a scene, so as long as Ketho stays down and doesn't get recognized, we should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Ketho wants to start beef since he has his gauntlet.
Zarkov, would you make a intelligence plus 10 roll? You don't have Medicaid.
Intelligence plus 10? Woo! You might not fail.
As long as you don't have to make fellowship rolls, you should be good.
Oh god, no. Please no fellowship rolls. Please no fellowship rolls. Don't make me go shopping. Alrighty, Zarkov, intelligence plus 10. Boom, boom.
Not quite.
Oh,
You can.
more than not quite. Oh god.
Well, this is definitely Eldrick Marin in front of you. Other than that, he definitely looks upset.
my astute skills pick up this.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes, you managed to ascertain this with your immense deductive capabilities. He's muttering something under his breath, but you can't quite tell what it is. And he's walking generally towards you. You're sort of off to the side of the entrance, just a bit. This is Martin and Ketho are the ones closest to the door. Zarkov was off because he had been dancing with Katrin, and he was over at the other end of the room. Tyruss, had you followed them out into the main area?
Oh, yes, I was going with them. I was staying with the group.
Zarkov, you do notice him across the room because he kind of bashes through the door. What do you guys do now that Eldrick Marin has barged in?
I do see this from my corner, right?
Yeah, I think
Yes,
we all see this.
It's pretty
I
hard
look
to
over
miss.
to Tyruss and I say, "Look who's here."
I start to weed my way over. Like, I don't leave the crowd, but I stay. I don't want to be that far away from my commission. I don't want to leave Ketho without a sword. Do you have a sword, Ketho?
No, I have a knife.
Yeah, no. So I would definitely give you my mono blade as your, retainer.
The regular mono sword, and you have the super nice one.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, I'm still in the crowd, but like I want to be nearby in case he either needs defense or he needs to be given a sword to defend himself in honor.
Uh-huh.
Just in case.
Okay, so maneuver yourself over close to him then.
Yeah.
And the band is playing a lively waltz right now. No, 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 no. So, he walking into the center of the room, casting glares at anyone who gets close to him. So people give him a wide berth as he goes into the center of the room. And you see he's got a bolt pistol and a sword of some sort sheathed at his side as he storms in, wearing these rich, like, cream and crimson fabrics draped around him, with some ornamental metal veins sticking out of the back. This is the fashion here.
Fashionable.
Mm-hmm. Just let me know if you want to do anything.
Right now, I'm okay waiting in the corner.
All right, he keeps going into the center of the room, and just if you don't do anything, he just continues across and forms into the dining room, sort of like half shoving someone out of his way as he goes through the door.
Dick.
Natalie Corvus is like, what's he on about right now? I mean, I know he's usually foul-tempered, but even for him, this is especially aggressive.
I subtly take out the glove of Eldrick Marin, and I say, someone missed his duel a few days ago.
Oh. By the way, as he walked by, you noticed he was wearing a new pair of gloves. But she's like, ooh, that's right. He missed a duel with you. A historic first. How did you convince him to miss a duel, by the way? Something must have happened to deter him from getting there, or he was held up or something.
I don't know what goes on in the mind of Eldrick Marin that really kept him from dueling me that day. I had no influence on the matter.
Well, technically speaking,
I wink at Tyruss. And I say to my pals, I would like to quickly just go see some of the other rooms just to check this place out. And I start going towards the room where my bolt gun was stashed.
The bolt gun was in that room right there. And so you go in to see the same sort of cozy seating area with a couple couches and tables.
I search around for the bolt gun.
There's a pair of ladies sort of sitting there with teacups on one of the table assemblages, and there's a group of men discussing things in another corner of the room. But you make your way over to the couch behind which you hid the bolt gun. One of the ladies is sitting on that couch, but you surreptitiously peer behind it, and the bolt gun is not there. While he's doing that, what are the rest of you doing?
Well, I'm going to just stand guard by the door, and I'm just waiting for him to come out, expecting him to give me a report on the status of his weapon.
What about Zarkov?
Zarkov's running ready to check on his shotgun.
Okay.
See, I was going to say I go check on my force staff, but if all of us go check on our weapons simultaneously, that might arouse a bit of suspicion.
Zarkov had a bad feeling about this. I'm just kidding.
You can,
I step out of the room to Tyruss and trying to keep a very calm look on my face. I say, there may be a problem.
I'm actually over by them. I was just teasing. I just knew that like as soon as his gun was gone, I'm like, I'm in trouble.
Thankfully, I don't write my name on my weapons, but...
Property of Ketho. Please return to Inquisition if found.
With a picture of myself. I look like this. I stay here.
Yeah, address, phone number.
will not be purged, we promise.
Social security.
Quick brainstorm. Where's the best place to face Eldrick Marin? He's in the dining room right now, which would possibly put a table in between me and him while we discuss. Again, I don't want to instigate a fight. Best case scenario is there's no fight. Really?
Yeah. At this moment, he hasn't recognized any of you.
Right. I want to try to kind of like rig the deck so that he is in no way impulsed to fight.
Before we do that, may I suggest we check on the status of our other weapons?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, I'm going to go over and check the room where the force staff was hidden.
I have to stay with Tyruss because that's my job.
Yep.
But I will stay here there and help him try to clear out the room if need be.
Okay, Eric, is there anything about this door? Like, is the door open?
I mean, as you approach it, the door opens and a woman and man walk out of it. Just sort of woman with her arm through the crook of the man's arm. They're both laughing at some sort of joke as they walk out. And there's just one person left in there, sat on one of the couches reading through a little book. This is the one that had like a few bookshelves in it with various books on general pleasant topics.
As we enter, I say to Tyruss, look, show me the book quick. I hear they're just about to put out the best lobster.
Of course, sire.
Does the lady reading the book respond to the thing about the lobster at all? I was hoping she's a lobster file.
She sort of like looks up a bit quizzically like, oh, there's people in the room, but does not seem to have any particular reaction to the lobster. She doesn't like lobster quite as much as you guys do.
Okay.
Would we be able to search for it out of her line of sight? Or if like
Not
one
really.
of us is searching for other books in front of her, like if there's activity in her line of sight, would she ignore Tyruss searching for it? If John and I were
probably.
looking at something.
If one of you guys made like a little distraction.
Don't make me do social interaction. I'm just gonna watch.
No, I just leave you in. I just said you don't have to say anything.
Fine, you say everything. I mean, my presence might make them upset.
It'd still be a distraction.
Oh, that's true enough. If they're vomiting, they're not paying attention.
I just grabbed Zarkov and dragged him behind me.
So I go in and I go to a bookshelf that's in front of the lady.
And then
Her line of sight.
the lady starts going,
I mean, they've been drinking too, so.
no.
I just grab any old book. I say, look at the binding. Look at the binding in this book. There is a whole new industry of book fakery. of knockoff books coming into rich people's home. But if you check the binding and the craftsmanship of the binding, and I'm just pointing at different parts of the book, just random, you can tell if this is a real book or if it's put together. Now, if it's real, the first thing you look for is if they use string at all. That's a big indicator. If they use only glue, it's no good. It's no good.
You're saying to the woman who's reading right now?
No, I'm saying this to Zarkov, but then I say to the woman, like, Miss, will you look at your book? Is it bound with string or glue?
She sort of like looks up and like blinks a few times and is like, well, this is it seems like there's both string and glue in this one.
Okay, so that's good. So that's common that they will use both, but they only use glue. It's cheaper to manufacture glue than to get the fibers for any string, especially for nicer strings. I would expect there not to be any counterfeit books here in House Oberon at the ball, but you can never, not only are the books themselves counterfeit, but they smuggle things inside. If you flip through, you'll find that they've carved holes.
It like gasps a little bit when you say that.
Yeah.
Search for staff.
All right. You search for staff. You carefully, as Ketho and Zarkov are occupying the one observer, you sort of like peel back one of the boards in the shelving unit in which the staff was hidden, and you see, to your relief, the staff is still there.
Woo! All right, 1 out of 2. Not bad.
Are you taking the staff, or are you just using it?
Well, I can't take it with me,
Right.
so I just I leave it where it is for now.
You feel a little bit more at ease. As you're in there searching, then you hear the song comes to an end, and then the lights in the main room begin to dim a bit.
Slow jam.
A voice rings out and says, now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please move to the sides of the ballroom area, we'll now have a performance from the local Performancers Guild, specially hired on by House Oberon for your entertainment. And people move to the side, and there's some polite applause as the lights dim, except for like some spotlights shining into the center, and a number of entertainers cartwheel and jump onto the stage wearing these like intricate bronze filigreed plates all over themselves. They're dancing, and it's kind of impressive. They can even cartwheel in this sort of stuff, which overall is like probably about the weight of fairly heavy metal plate armor. But as they cartwheel, all the metal plates shift, and all these mesmerizing designs. And someone starts playing some kind of piped instrument as they all begin to dance around in a circle.
Can I quickly just glance around for Eldrick Merrin?
Sure. He's over in this corner right here.
Oh, okay.
Natalie Corvus is over beside you guys.
Did Eldrick come in with any of his entourage, or was it just him?
It was just him, actually. As you all stand around, through all the cartwheeling and everything, then Zarkov and Tyruss, you both see someone in the outfit of one of the servants walks over to someone and gently like taps them on the shoulder, leans in and whispers something into their ear. You don't recognize this person, but after that servant whispers something in, then they sort of give a nod of affirmation and walk past you guys. You see the guy go in through a door that has a House Oberon guard on either side of the door. As he passes Zarkov, you notice the glint of a golden ticket coming out of his lapel pocket.
So he's headed somewhere. So maybe it's time, if we wish to, reveal said tickets. So we might also get tapped on the shoulder.
Zarkov, you see, you're sort of going towards the door, and you actually come almost face to face with Eldrick Merrin, and he's got a little ticket tucked in his lapel pocket as well. As you're going, you see Natalie Corvus is arching her neck, sort of like looking around the room, saying, like, I haven't seen Felicia Tolbin anywhere yet. Where could it be?
She could be at the auction.
Does she know about the auction?
I mean, you don't know if she does, but she was investigating that sort of segment. While he's doing this, what are the rest of you doing?
So I guess the rest of us are putting our tickets out?
Yeah, I was going to say we don't want to be missed, so I pull my ticket out. And I'm going to also just separate from the group because I don't want anyone to see a group of 3 people with tickets out. So I suggest we all split up.
That's fair.
All right. Pull yourselves over to where you guys are going to hang out. Ketho, as you start walking away, Natalie grabs your arm and sort of hisses in your ear, "Where are you guys all going?"
Well, she knows, though, that was the plan.
She knows the plan?
Yeah.
She knew the plan to have one person go, but she didn't know the update to have many people going.
All right, in that case, I will stay. We're just spreading out, not to seem like a group. I offer her my arm, as if I am an escort. It's like, here, let's go blend in while we wait for Felicia. I say, Zarkov, you can have mine.
Are you going to do your crazy shenanigans?
I'm going to lay low and see where this takes us.
Okay.
Because if Felicia Tobin is coming, right, she's expecting to meet Natalie, so I can be here to at least cover Natalie, because that is actually an important thing too. So, and originally, it wasn't planned that I would go to the event. I was planned to play support, so that works.
Zarkov looks you straight in the eye and says, "As you say, my boy, simply don't die until I see you next."
So I'm over with Natalie.
Yep.
And we're blending in.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I have my ticket displayed.
Yep. Soon after Eldrick Marin goes through this door as well, then the servant lingers around, offers some drinks to a few people, and then as he makes his way past you, he taps you on the shoulder and says, "Please, sir, right this way," and sort of gently inclines his head towards that back door. Martin is approached by a different person and told to go through this door right here. And so he goes through that way. The performance is all going on. At this point, they put like a holographic display down on the ground showing these projections of giant beasts, and they're doing this sort of elaborate, stylized fighting against the beasts to like sort of oohs and ahs of amazement from the crowd. And the same person who approached Martin approaches you as well and indicates that you go through that same door. This is the room you hid the shotgun in a little earlier. When you go in, Martin's already gone, but there's another person in the room, another person in servant clothes, and he actually shifts one of the couches to the side and reveals a trap door and indicates that you go through there. Martin also sends you on the microbead that he just gave the room a once over with the optical mechadendrite when he went in, and that the shotgun is still in the place you left it.
Yay!
Okay, I just sort of subtly nod to the servant and make my way towards the trapdoor.
Mm-hmm. Down you go?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody drops out of sight. Zarkov, you went through the door sometime after Eldrick Marin, and there's a person, and he indicates a secret door behind a bookshelf and pushes it aside, and there's a spiral staircase leading down underground. So you all descend into the basement of the ceremonies area.
Not all. I'm just at the party. Ooh. What's happening? What's happening?
You guys are making your way down through some passages that are in stark contrast to the rest of the area. You'd expect the maintenance tunnel to actually be like really bare with exposed bulbs, metal grating for the floor, but this is very much not it. It has like very dark mahogany walls and a carpet in a much more subdued tones than upstairs. And there's lighting in sort of like a subtle row along the floor, kind of like aircraft exit strip lighting. In the way the walls are paneled and cast makes these very elegant lines from floor to ceiling. And you're all sort of like underlit somewhat dramatically as you walk down through the hallway. And you get this incredible feeling of unease as you walk through. The carpet is firmer than the carpet upstairs, but despite your unease, you keep walking forward. You come across a few other people, all noblemen and women with these golden tickets in their arms or lapel pockets.
You try to take note of anyone of note that's there that I recognize, or any house symbols?
No one's wearing their house symbols right now because it's a masquerade ball.
Yep.
You do see Eldrick Marin ahead of you, though.
Does he seem to have anyone with him, or is he by himself?
He's by himself at the moment. Everyone seems to be by themselves. No one has any retainers with them.
I think I'll make a Cinescience roll just to check for psychic phenomenon.
Go for it.
Terrible.
You extend your psychic senses out and are almost immediately hit by this like overwhelming wave of pure terror, the kind that you've felt. Really, like the only memory of this kind of terror you have is from the very foggy memories of your days trapped on your void ship in the warp. That pure of a terror feeling. Make me a willpower roll at -20.
Oh, you've got to be joking.
You've done it now.
Okay. You managed to like bring your emotions mostly under control, but you still are quite shaken by the experience. If your mask wasn't on your face, you would be visibly pale. Take an insanity point.
Hey, everyone, I have an insanity point now.
You're insane.
The Psyker has finally gotten an insanity point. You haven't until now because your willpower is staggeringly high, and you just pass every kind of fear check you have to take.
You only have one?
I only have one insanity point. I have 3 corruption points.
There's no complaining from you. I have 8 insanity and 5 corruption.
Oh, no.
Zarkov, you feel nothing at all as you go down here.
Nothing.
You notice that Tyruss is visibly shaken, but you don't feel anything. Martin seems like he's a little bit unnerved because you guys have sort of drifted together because you've all entered the doors at the same time, approximately.
Okay.
You do notice that Martin's slightly disturbed and that Tyruss is very disturbed, but someone who didn't know him probably wouldn't notice it.
Yeah, I box in and I'm like, everything all right, Psyker? Voices speaking to you again.
Forces you could never understand influence this dark place.
Jeez. The microbeads is just one big channel, right? So I hear all of this?
As long as you're in range.
While this is happening, upstairs with Ketho and Natalie, earlier you had seen Danik go by, and you were like,
Danik!
It's like, Ketho, and you're like, Danik, like really subtle, like, because you're in a masquerade ball.
Right.
all the enthusiasm you normally have, just very quiet. My man. All right.
You guys are two,
bro. Also, Ketho, as you sit there, you notice Mortimer drift up beside you as well.
I got a posse. I got the NPC posse.
Yeah. As the performers are dancing about, you see a young woman approach and gently tap Natalie on the shoulder, and she's like, "Come with me," and starts walking towards this door.
I quickly say to Natalie, "Do you want me to come?"
Yes.
Okay, I get up and follow.
This is the person we're looking for.
I keep my hand close to my bolt pistol, though.
Yeah, you get pulled into the side room. There's nobody in this one now. This is the room that held Tyruss's force staff.
Now, do I know where the force staff is?
Yes.
Okay. That might be useful. I don't know how it works.
If you try to use it, it won't work, though. It'll just be like a normal staff.
If people can identify the staff as a force staff, I don't need to actually use it. I just need them to identify it as a force staff.
If you touch that thing.
I might have to.
If you touch that thing.
I won't. I'll make sure that all scratches are hidden. I'll make sure it's nice and buff. You never know when you need to pull out a giant force staff out of the wall.
You never know.
It could send a message, you know?
If you need a shotgun, there's that too.
That's in a different room.
Oh.
So it'd be less impressive for me to be like, wait right here. I got it.
Yeah, I might want to start trying to figure out where your bolter went, by the way.
You know what? I know it's going to be somewhere near me because I told you before, it's going to be the thing that shoots me. I'm going to get shot in this encounter. I just know it. I know it's
By your own
happening.
bolter.
And so when I get shot, I will know where the bolt gun is. It's a genius plan.
Actually, I think I'm going to call it for the night.
Yeah, that's probably a good place to call it. 12 a.m.
Yeah.
We'll get to what Felicia Tolbin says next time. This is Felicia Tolbin, by the way, the missing acolyte.
I hope she just
She
introduces herself like that. Like, door closes. I'm Felicia Tobin. I'm the missing acolyte.
So for experience, then get a total of 200 each.
XP.
Mm-hmm. With that, I think I'm going to head out for the night.
All right. Have a good night, Eric.
Yeah, good night, you guys, too.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us online at itsprobablyheresy.wordpress.com. And if you see anything heretical, you can contact the Acolytes at itsprobablyheresy@gmail.com.
Don't make me do social interaction. I'm just going to watch.
Oh dear, you're such a card.